Welcome to the Gospel Road. We are going to look at 2 Corinthians 12 today. Hopefully you're having a good day. Sunshine, bright and shiny. A lot of people kind of upset around here that they did make the announcement that the Iowa State Fair has followed suit with many other states. They have, the word they're using is postponed rather than canceled, but pretty much not going to happen in 2020, so we'll be waiting until 2021. So many things are happening, so many things are changing, and really trying to figure out and deal with that. I was reading some articles earlier today, and at least for media, more furloughs, more layoffs, extensions. I'm not really sure how this is all going to play out when it's all said and done. Not sure how the summer is going to be. Not sure how fall is going to be. I know they're kind of trying to pull everything together. They are opening things up a little more this week. Tomorrow, places can go back to 100% capacity, but still 6 feet distancing. I know the high schools are starting to play baseball and softball starting next week. Just so much to learn, so much to try and figure out, because we're not sure how all this is going to play out or what's going to happen when it's all said and done. I know many people are really leery about their job. It's hard to even keep people excited because they're not even sure what's going to happen. I know we're dealing with that a lot on the media side. We're trying to have, be entertaining, trying to have the best shows that we can, and it's not the easiest because we're not really sure what to expect. They were talking about the up and down emotional roller coaster. And I know what it's like. I mean, I know how I just deal with life in general, but when you add all this in, you have your good days, you have your bad days. I have a lot of my friends that have their good days and their bad days, and they're not even sure how to deal with it at this point in time because we're not sure where everything is going to end up. It's just hard. It's very hard to comprehend the situation that we're in, and people that are in fear, people that are just tired of being shut in. They want everything to go back to normal. What's that normal going to be? Is there even going to be much of a normal for a while? It's really hard to say. But, I continue to do these because I know they help me. I get comments from people that it helps them too, but it's just trying to really encourage everybody, because right now everybody really needs it. People need to be lifted up. People need to be really helped through. It's not even the whole level up at this point. It's just getting through day to day because of what's happening. I have friends that are working from home that are just frustrated with that, and they don't like it. I have other friends that love working from home. They have no problem with it at all. So it's really trying to figure out how all of that is going to play out, and it's not easy. By no means is it easy to understand or how to deal with that. As I was saying, 2 Corinthians 12. I must go on boasting, though there is nothing to be gained by it. I will go on to visions and revelations of the Lord. I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the third heaven. Whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. And I know that this man was caught up into paradise. Whether in the body or out of body, I do not know. God knows. And he heard things that cannot be told. which man may not utter. On behalf of this man I will boast, but on my behalf I will not boast, except of my weaknesses. Though if I should wish to boast, I would not be a fool, for I would be speaking the truth, but I refrain from it so that no one may think more of me than he sees in me or hears from me. So to keep me from becoming conceited, because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from being conceited. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. I've been a fool. You forced me to it, for I ought to have been condemned by you, for I was not at all inferior to these super apostles, even though I am nothing. The signs of a true apostle were performed among you with utmost patience, with signs and wonders and mighty works. For in what were you less favored than the rest of the churches, except that I myself did not burden you? Forgive me this wrong. Here for the 3rd time I am ready to come to you, and I will not be a burden. For I seek not what is yours, but you. For children are not obligated to save up for their parents, but parents for their children. I will most gladly spend and be spent for your souls. If I love you more, am I to be loved less? But granting that I myself did not burden you, I was crafty, you say, and got the better of you by deceit. Did I take advantage of you through any of those whom I sent to you? I urged Titus to go, and he sent the brother with him. Did Titus take advantage of you? Did we not act in the same spirit? Did we not take the same steps? Have you been thinking all along that we have been defending ourselves to you? It is in the sight of God that we have been speaking in Christ, and all for your upbuilding, beloved. For I fear that perhaps when I come, I may find you not as I wish, and that you may find me not as you wish, that perhaps there may be quarreling, jealousy, anger, hostility, slander, gossip, conceit, and disorder. I fear that when I come again, my God may humble me before you, and I may have to mourn over many of those who sinned earlier and have not repented of the impurity, sexual immorality, and sensuality that they have practiced. 2 Corinthians 12. That is, again, what we're looking at today. There's pieces there at the bottom towards the end of the chapter. Quarreling, jealousy, anger, hostility, slander, gossip, conceit, disorder. We see a lot of that today. I know I have weaknesses, been insulted, hardships, persecuted, calamities. These are things that we're dealing with on a daily basis. But how are you dealing with those weaknesses in your life? I will admit I fail. I mean, I talk about failing all the time as we have these conversations with myself, talking to my... Is it weird? No. I mean, we have these. We deal with them on a daily basis because with those weaknesses, there are things to learn, to become better, to do better. And it's all about learning. and being able to become more wise, more understanding, more knowledge as you're trying to do better in life, personally, professionally. Again, you're always going to be learning. I know I have dealt with that because, again, I was told one time, and I've shared this before, but I'll say it again. I had somebody describe me as a sponge. They said, I want to learn as much as I can. Now, by me learning, there's certain people that you are hanging out with to learn that information. So now on the backside, I had people slandering me, gossiping about me. They were calling me a brown noser. I wasn't brown nosing anything. I want to know, how does this work? I want to know. I mean, I have it in my mind that if I'm going to be, for lack of a better way of saying it, in charge, running something, so I'll use with me being in radio, being a program director, a program manager of a radio station. If I am over a staff, I should know how that station works. I'm not saying I'm going to know it in and out all the way because, again, it's always going to be learning because it's always changing. Right now, we had a huge change over the last 90 days, and we're not the only one. Many industries had to learn something different on how to do their business. But how many times have you had a boss that seemed to not know how things worked? Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm going to know everything, but I should be able to have a coherent conversation. I talk with an engineer when there's a problem. I should be able to have a conversation to kind of help them diagnose the issue. I'm not going to solve the issue because that's not my job. I don't have that knowledge. I don't have the understanding to be able to do that. But if I can help them, it's like going and getting your car worked on. You're not the mechanic. But if you're able to have a better conversation of more than, well, it goes and why? I mean, it's not just the noises that it makes. Is it pulling? Is it doing something weird? The better you can explain it, the better they can diagnose the issue. Going to the doctor, the better you can explain the problems that you're feeling and having, the better they can diagnose the issue. Not everyone thinks that way. Not everyone lives their life that way. They are getting by with what they can. And a lot of times they make it into positions. Maybe they do not deserve those positions, but they're there. So you still have to respect them for that position. Not saying things are easy to deal with, but you have to show that respect. So we have the weaknesses. And with those weaknesses, it's being able, God is talking to Paul, the grace that he has. So what kind of grace and mercy are you giving to help people with those weaknesses, to help them be stronger? So they are trying to really be better, to do things better. They keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. Why do they keep messing up the same thing on a regular basis and they cannot get it figured out? What is not computing in their mind to gain that knowledge to understand what is going on? Be better today than yesterday. Tomorrow be better than today. Grow, learn, strive to be the best that you can be for yourself and for those around you, both personally and professionally. Again, it's working on yourself, body, mind, and soul. A lot of times working on those things, it helps you because you might be dealing with a lot of stress, and those things can be good stress relievers when you're trying to better yourself, to kind of take your mind off of what's going on. 1 Corinthians 12. Read that today. What does it say to you? How does it help you grow? How does it help you to help someone else, to motivate them, to inspire them, to lift them up? How does it help me? I mean, again, I kind of just share what goes through my brain as I read through this. For the motivation that I have, the inspiration that I have, I need to be lifted up. Sometimes in my mind, probably too much. But I'm doing my best. Because even when I'm weak, I am strong. Second Corinthians 12. Read that today. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.